What is going on, guys? My name is Lex and welcome back to the channel. I am so happy to see you guys again. Today we're going to be focusing on my 2021 Dodge Charger Hellcat Redeye with 1100 horsepower. For the most part, I'm usually not the type of guy to really focus on cosmetic things, but let's be honest, these Chargers for the most part look almost exactly the same, whether it's a V6 or a 797 Redeye. So in order to make mine stand out just a little bit more and make it a little bit more popping, I guess, in a way, because I guess 1100 horsepower is just not enough, I'm going to be showing you guys how to install 4 different cosmetic things to really change the look of this Charger. Super simple to do, don't cost much at all, and I think you guys are going to enjoy it. So without further ado, guys, let's get this video going. Alright, so what are the 4 things we're going to be putting on the car? They are super simple, and for the most part they have to do with the back end of the Chargers, which of course they look exactly the same on all the cars. So one of the things we're going to be putting on here is actually a Wicker bill. So it's a 2-piece Wicker bill, so we are going to be using a riv nut gun and everything to install it because, well, this just looks bland. Like, honestly, the Scat Pack Chargers actually have a better looking spoiler than the Redeyes do. What is this? This is like just a piece of straight across plastic spoiler. It almost looks aftermarket or some cheap thing that the Dodge decided to put on, because the Scat Pack ones have like the one that really has like a ridge halfway through or like a dent. I don't know what to call it, but it looks amazing. But I figured let's switch it up a little bit. Let's put a Wicker bill on here and change the look of this rear end of this car. Second piece, of course, is the actual diffuser, the rear diffuser, which again looks super cheap, I guess, or really bland or basic on the Charger. So this one has like these little runs that go through here. I guess it's for aerodynamics, but it really does change the look. I love that, and we're going to be doing it super simple to do. It literally takes like 5 to 10 minutes. The third thing we're going to be doing on this car is we're going to be actually tinting out or blacking out the little side marker lights on the Charger. So the front one looks horrible, smokes are gray, beautiful color, and then you got an amber orange looking light in here, and you have a red marker light in the back. So we're going to be tinting those out in the front and the rear, and we're going to be doing the rear tail lights as well. A lot of people do this, but literally we'll black out this reverse light and little brake light that's in here. Yes, it's legal because whenever the brake lights are applied, it's still noticeable and visible. So in order for you guys to see what the difference actually is going to be like between the before and after effects, here's the rolling shot I kind of took of the car and like walking around it, so you can kind of see we really are going to be focusing on the rear end of the vehicle. And if you do like what you're going to see in this video, guys, at any point, anytime, it is absolutely free. Just drop a like, a comment, and a subscription. That'll tell me that you want to see more of these type of things that we can install and what kind of parts we can install on the Charger. I do have a front lid for it. I do have the side skirts and a few other things like carbon fiber interior pieces, no, not the cheap ones, that I can install as well. It's actually laying right there, just came in from a really cool company. But the fourth thing that we're going to be doing, I'm calling it cosmetic in a way because it's not really increasing my horsepower, but it is completely changing all the lights interior of the car, because even on a $90,000 Charger Redeye, the interior lights are complete garbage. Like, they're yellow, amber, the worst ones like they used to put in 1980s cars. I mean, it's the worst lighting I've ever seen. So we're going to be fixing that as well. So without further ado, guys, let's get this video going. We're going to start with the rear diffuser. Super easy to do, and I'm going to show you guys step by step. Oh, and for the people asking, yes, I do daily drive my 1100 horsepower Redeye with drag radials on it. These are the Mickey Thompson ET Street R's. It's only got a 35 sidewall, so it's definitely not enough for all the horsepower and torque that we have. So we just got, finally, huge shout out to Julian, my buddy, that hooked me up with some used 315s, 5017. So these are going to be enough for us to really have fun on. They have plenty of tread left, and let me show you guys how big of a difference it is between the size. So when I say I don't have enough traction at the drag strip, this is why. Look how much more this meat is on this tire. Look how big the sidewall is, so I can actually hook and go and hopefully get in the really low 9 seconds in the quarter. So I'm excited, guys, but look at the big difference. So we are going to be installing these next time you see this car. Hopefully it will be done, but for now we are rolling on the drag radial. So if it rains, I'm completely screwed wherever I may be at, but it looks cool. I get a lot of compliments on it, and it does serve a purpose. So without further ado, guys, let's go back to the diffuser. Okay, guys, so number 1 is the diffuser. That's where we're going to be first and knocking that out. Guys, you got to hear me out. Hear me, and I hope you don't miss this, but whenever you're working on a wide body Charger, make sure that whichever diffuser you go with has the 14 clips, not the 16 clips, because the 16 clip one is for the regular Scat Packs and Hellcats and stuff like that. They're not wide body. I don't know why they did it differently, but the diffusers, or even the base OEM rear diffuser, actually only has 14 clips on there, not 16. So I made the mistake once already of buying the wrong one, and we finally got the right one in. So what you're gonna do is there is 2 little push pins they got to push out, one on each side, one over there, and then there's 4 I think that's a 7mm bolts that you just unscrew. So the bottom piece is loose at that point. Then you literally just go through here and kind of lightly pop it out. And once you get the rhythm going, it literally just gets itself completely off by itself. So I don't really have to show you how to do that because it's super simple, guys. Literally, it's going to take you like 10 minutes to get this on and off. So, all right, guys. So the 4 screws and 2 pop outs, clips, whatever rivets you want to call them, are out. So next step is you kind of want to find the edge of this, kind of slide your finger in here, and then slowly just kind of push on it, and it will pop out. So we got 1. You kind of have to just work your way around. If this decides to cooperate, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. There it goes. 10. You kind of want to just push from the inside out. And final 2, final 1, and it is off, guys. Let's put this bad boy to the side, and then let's get the new one, and let's hope it fits. So let's see if they all align. Yes, sir, they do. So the last thing to do, of course, is just to put the 2 clips in on the side and 4 bolts, and you're done. Wow, this sucker stands out so much more. The only thing I'm worried about is my driveway right here. It's actually scraping my exhaust. That's lower than my exhaust, so now I'm gonna have to figure out a new way of driving up my driveway. Jeez, it looks like you're driving a track car at this point. I hope it does something for aerodynamics, honestly, because look at that. I think we're gonna do the lights next, so I wanna tint those out and show you guys how it's done. Again, literally will probably take about 10-15 minutes, so let's do that quick. Alrighty, guys, and part number 2 that we're gonna be replacing on our Dodge Charger Redeye. I can't say that enough, I love this car, but it's gonna be the actual tint itself when it comes to the side markers and the rear tail light. Why is this like my favorite one? Well, that's because it's super simple to do, and it literally takes just a few minutes, but I really do feel like it changes the look of it from every angle, because even on the side, those side markers, when they're blacked out, they don't draw as much attention, so it just looks a lot more aggressive and mean. So I personally like doing it. Now, here's what you're gonna need. First off, by the way, 20 bucks on eBay, I think, is all it was for this film. It's super cheap. The rear diffuser was right out, I think, 100, I won't say 150, 160 bucks, and then it's just super cheap to work on these cars. So 160 plus 20 bucks for the tint, plus the Wicker bill was like $170. So literally under 500 bucks, you can really change the look of this car. So it's not that hard to do as well, so you don't have to pay for labor. So literally under 500 bucks, and you got yourself a completely different car, in my opinion. But anyways, guys, so to do the tint is super easy. Now, 2 things I'm going to tell you right now that you got to be careful with. First off, you will need a heat gun. Why a heat gun? Because whenever you apply the film, you want it to actually settle in there and shrink and attach and be like a tight fit with whatever you're doing. So if you just slap that on there, it's not going to be strong enough, and whenever, you know, it rains outside or anything, if any water gets in, it's game over and you're going to have to restart because it'll peel right off. Secondly, you don't want to just put those stickers on, because it's going to be a little bit hard, even though they're both like flat surfaces, the side marker lights and the tail light. But if you do get a bubble in there, it'll be impossible for you to get it out. So one thing you want to do is, of course, wipe the surface down and make sure it's clean. So before you start doing anything, I did get a car wash on this car literally right before I pulled into the garage, and there's still already dirt and dust already back on here. So what you'll do is you just take, what I do is like a microfiber cloth, and you'll just literally wipe this down. Don't apply any liquids on here yet, because you don't want any greasing or anything like that underneath the film. But whenever you wipe it down, yeah, pretty much right there. So get all that dust off completely. God, I love those taillights. And then what you're gonna do is you're gonna take a spray bottle, and you're gonna put, literally what I do is about like half full of water, plain water, and literally a drop of soap. No more than a drop. Okay, you can probably do 2 drops, but it's always recommended to do a drop of soap, because you don't want it too soapy, because then it won't stick either. So what you're gonna do is right before you apply it, you literally will spray it on there, soak it as much as you want. That way it's really wet, and then you'll take a piece of that film, whichever one you're applying, and then use a squeegee if possible and put it on there as perfectly as you can. If for any reason it's not like perfectly aligned and you got to redo it, peel it off, spray it down again, and put it on there. Use a squeegee to get as many bubbles out as possible. If they're small bubbles, not a big deal. It happens. The heat will actually get those out of there. But yeah, let me show you guys how it's done. Now keep in mind, you do want it to be like above 65 degrees outside or so before you start doing this, because again, it won't stick either to a cold surface. So let me show you how it's done. Super simple, guys. Alrighty, guys, so like I was saying, super simple to do. First step is get your little microfiber rag and really wipe this down. Make sure there's no dust on there, nothing that can get underneath the film. And then pretty much next step is you're gonna spray this as much as you can. Let's make it a little bit of a mist. You want it to really be soaked. That way it's super simple to apply. Grab one of these, and then you want to just Apply it on here as the best you can. So touch it the least amount as possible, and then kind of want to line it up as evenly as you can, just like that. A little bit of bubble, so you want to take it off. And then run this right across it, get all the water out. No water underneath. As you can tell, they did leave a little bit of a lip, which is good here because you want it to fully cover the marker light. So get as much water before you fold it as possible, get it all out in the edges, and then slowly from what I do center out, kind of push little by little until it completely goes all the way around. That way there's no water anywhere there. And then run it through here one more time. No water, no water. Squeegee it all out if possible. And then next step is just taking your little heat gun here, put it on the lowest setting possible. Yeah, that's the highest. And then don't get too close because it will melt this as well. So you just want to kind of run it from far away and just warm it up and let it really start sticking on here. And you'll see there's going to be any water bubble, stuff like that. Now, before you do the heat gun, or when you do the heat gun, you're pretty much at the last step. So you want to get as much bubbles out, because once you start applying this, if you pull on it, since it's warm, it's going to either stretch or rip, and it's going to be game over. You're going to lose a piece of the film. So at this point, I'm pretty much set. So I know that I'm good here to heat it up, get as much water out of it as I can. I have no water bubbles in there whatsoever, so that's awesome. So now we just let it shrink a little bit, and that's going to help it to really secure. And we're done, guys. Let's move on to the next one. That's how simple it is, seriously. So I won't show you guys the next marker light because it's pretty much very easy. Look how awesome it looks. It's blacked out. There's no more random orange trim here or orange coloring to this car. Same with the red in the back, and it just looks so much better. I freaking love it. So let's move on to the next one. Alrighty, guys. So doing the tail lights, like I said, it's just a two-piece here, but it's also flat, so there's not much really like ridges you got to work with and stuff. So that's what I love about Charger lights. Unlike the Mustang lights with the three different tail light pieces, I guess those are a pain to work. But again, wipe out all the dust. Make sure there's nothing that's going to be in the way of us making this look pretty. And then spray it down a little bit. So soak it. We'll start with the big piece here. Now on this one, you do want to kind of match it up with already what's blacked out from the factory. You kind of want to apply it correctly. This is very sticky stuff right there. So just like that. Boom, it matches. Perfect. Covers the whole. God, that looks so mean. I love it. Squeeze out as much as you can by hand. Just gonna push it down. You want to push the water completely down. Now you don't want to be too aggressive with this because you can also scratch the film itself. So you just gotta be careful with doing this. You can also push it up a little bit, but gravity works best when you do it downhill. There it goes. And here we go, guys. There you go. Look at that bad boy right there. Whoo, baby. Changes the whole look of it. Alrighty, guys, you ready to see the final product? 3, 2, well, not the final, but we're talking about the marker lights. So boom, completely blacked out. Completely blacked out. And oh my goodness, man. Look at that rear end. That is perfect. I wish it could black out like the actual daytime running lights or night lights, whatever, but dude, that looks so sick. So now the whole strip is all black. And of course we did the marker lights on this side as well. But boys, I legitimately love this. Such a simple little fix. Not even a fix, but a modification, I guess you can call it, but changes the whole look of this car. So now the next step, of course, is to do the actual Wicker build itself. So it is a two-piece. So it's a little bit hard to do by yourself, but pretty sure we can figure this out. Not too worried about it. So what we're gonna do right now is we're gonna use some masking tape and put like a whole strip across. And then that way we can see and figure out where the holes are supposed to be. Oh God, that hurt. And then we'll see where the holes are supposed to be, mark the holes, drill the holes for the riv nuts themselves, of course, or for the rivets or whatever they're called. And then it pretty much screws in. So the cool thing is everything came with the package already. So these actual things you slide into your own bumper in order to make the actual bolts themselves screw into once you got everything ready. So I'm not seeing the riv nut gun, so we got to go buy one real quick. They did send this, but I have no idea what I'm looking at, so I'm gonna have to go buy a riv nut gun. But I guess this works the same way, where it just kind of screws in and squeezes everything in. I don't know, so I'm not gonna be playing around real quick. So let's get the holes figured out, and then we're gonna go buy a riv nut gun real quick, come back, and then install everything. So let's get the masking tape on there real quick. My partner in crime came down here, my wife. She helped me really to do it and to make sure that we got it all correctly pinned, I guess, or marked. So yes, you're seeing the green one and the black one, but the black one is the new one. That's correct. Unlike the ZL1 add-on, which is actually a really good one, this one did not have like a center one, so we actually have to go off of here, and it's got two spots on the sides. So we're gonna bolt those in first, or we're gonna screw it in first, or drill the holes first, and then put the little rivets in there, and then after that we'll start playing with it and making sure everything lines up correctly and go from there. So this should be a lot of fun, guys. Make sure you get someone to help you, because it's really easy to screw this up, and once you make a hole, you can't really make a new hole or readjust it. I mean, you can, but then it's not really going to hold when it comes to the rivets themselves. So let's go ahead and drill some holes, guys. All right, guys, so I got myself a 3/8 impact drill bit, and the next step, of course, is to, well, of course, to go ahead and drill out the holes that we have made. I'm gonna start with the two closest to the center, because I know those are the most accurate, and then since they're kind of on both sides of the center point, I know once I put them in, then everything else should kind of fall in line, so it should be no problem. 3/8 is what you need in order to be able to use those little riv nuts, and then of course to put the right rivets in there as well. So without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and start drilling, and if I screw up, we're gonna be getting a new spoiler real quick. So let's see what happens, guys. Wish me luck. All right, so the first hole. Alright, guys, so what you can tell is that the thread inside the nut doesn't start for at least good like 1/4 of an inch. So what that means is you have this space right here, pretty much like the first quarter, that has nothing to do with the actual threading and putting a bolt in there. So whenever you actually load it up into this riv nut gun, and you want to load it all the way up in here, and then what you do is whenever you stick it into the hole itself, the first quarter it'll actually squeeze and put together and compress, and then it makes a tight fit, because it like goes around the bumper on both sides. So I don't know if I'm explaining it well, but it kind of blew my mind. It's making a lot of sense to me, and this is really genius. That way you're not screwing and self-tapping and using all kinds of ugly screws. So this is actually a very clean system. You will need a riv nut gun, of course, guys. Make sure whatever you're buying it with comes with one. If not, they're like 10-15 bucks, so they're not expensive at all. So let's go ahead and let me bring you guys up close so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. All right, so you want to make sure it's dead center with the bumper, and then just really give it a tight squeeze. You want to do it once and do it one more time to really make sure it's stuck in there. And boom, guys, just like that. As you can tell, this is moving, but the rivet itself is in there good. So that's awesome. So all you do, we're going to do the rest of them. So we got 1, 2, 3 more to go on this side, 3 more on this side, and we'll go from there. But right now we're going to actually go ahead and insert the wicker bill, and I want to make sure that it's actually sitting there correctly. Alrighty, guys, let's go ahead and put both of these bolts in here and see how that looks. Make sure everything is lined up correctly. These should be very flush on here. If I did this wrong, then it's definitely on my wife. It is not my fault, because she was holding it. So yes, I'm blaming my wife. All right, so we're going to see, make sure everything's looking good, and it is. Nice. Good job, wifey. That's what I'm talking about. We are looking good. Good there. Good there. And spot on there. Very nice. Oh, guys, this is going to be so sick. This is like the hardest thing to do, because you're drilling holes into a car. But literally, I'm doing this by myself. Literally the first time ever touching a riv nut gun or doing any of this. So not bad for, honestly, for a first timer. So, guys, if I can do this, honestly, anybody can do it. I'm just being completely truthful with you guys. So let's go ahead and finish all the holes. Let's drill those out, and then we'll take the tape off, of course, and go from there. So shouldn't be hard at all. We're pretty much there, guys. The rest is super simple. So far, all the holes are lined up good, so I'm excited. This should be. This 3/8 is big. Wow. It does not play games, that's for sure. Woo. Woo. All right. That's done, guys. Now the next step, of course, is just to do our little riv nut gun. I can pretty much take all the tape off at this point, because the holes are done, so no need for that whatsoever. All right, guys, so after about 10 to 15 to maybe 20 minutes of drilling the holes, of doing everything correct with the nuts themselves, or the riv nuts, whatever they're called. We have the final product. Now I'm still having a little bit of adjustment to do, of course. Now I'm not showing you everything yet. I haven't taken this off or put the center piece in there, but I just want to show you the fitment wise. So it is looking good. We just got to, like I said, tighten everything down. Every hole matches for the most part. It's pretty good for somebody that did it themselves. So I'm actually really excited and really pumped of how well it turned out. All right, so in the next scene, you're going to see the final product of the Wicker build, the diffuser, the tail lights that are marked out and blacked out, and same with the marker lights as well. And then after that, we will move into doing the interior lights, because like I said, that's just kind of like a bonus I want to throw into. So if anybody's interested in that as well, super easy to do, but it completely changed the interior. But without further ado, guys, let me finish this real quick, finalize everything, slap everything on, peel off everything, and make sure there's no scratches or cracks. And then I'm gonna pull it outside and I'm gonna do the big reveal. So let's get that going. I'm so excited. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you guys the finished product. Boom. Golly, that back end looks so much better. Tinted tail lights, you got the Wicker bill, you got the diffuser. Oh my goodness, this thing looks so aggressive. Golly, I love it, love it. Not too much, not too little, especially with a different type of spoiler on the Redeyes. It definitely gives it a really good, I don't know how to say it, personality, I guess, I don't know, or presence, so you know it's a little different. What I feel like doing, and tell me guys if this is a good idea or not, but I'm gonna put Lex to see on here. I think that would be cool from the back end to see it. And I realized why they did this piece right here clear, because that way you can actually see out the rear view mirror, because this would get in the way. But guys, dude, I freaking love that. Look at that back end. Oh my God, it just completely transformed it. Then you got 4-star beadlock wheels on the side. You got the blacked out marker lights. You got the blacked out marker lights there. It's just, oh my goodness, man. I seriously am a big fan right now. I think all that work was absolutely worth it, guys. Like I said, super easy to do. Just make sure you have all the tools with you when you do it. But oh my God, this is so sick. What should we do next, guys? If you love these videos, seriously, let me know, because if you want to see more parts, we have the side skirts, we have the front lip I could put on as well, which I'll probably destroy the first time I drive it going down my hill, but that's okay. But real quick, guys, let's pull this bad boy back inside and then do the interior lights as well. Just a little final touch to make sure that everything is perfect on this car, but I'm really starting to love it. Once we put the tires on, everything, it's just going to come around. It's going to be such a big and different animal. Oh my God, dude, that Wicker bill. And I did it all myself. I didn't pay nobody or nothing. Diffuser is done. Dude, those taillights look murdered out. I freaking love it, guys. Let's pull this bad boy back in. All right, guys, and the last part, little bonus at the end of the video is, as you can tell, God, I can't stand these yellow ugly lights that are from the 1980s. Look at those. They're just horrible. Keep in mind, this is a $90,000 car that has the ugliest amber lights I've ever seen in my life. Look at that. Everything's just completely like cheap, man. Like, what we're going to be doing today, really quick, literally all you need is a flathead screwdriver and then a few of these lights. I think this was like 10 or 15 bucks, and it literally replaces all the lights on the inside with LEDs. So I'm super excited. Very easy to do. Like, for example, these right here and this mirror, you just use this flathead. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but I'm going to do the best I can. And then you just kind of pop it out. Got to find a good spot to where's the flathead into. Then literally just kind of play with it. And come on. Just kind of squeeze it in there, and there it goes. As you can tell, super cheap little light in there that you can kind of wiggle out of there or pop out just with a flathead screwdriver. So I love these little LEDs, of course. As you can tell, I don't know if you can tell, but there's 3 little LEDs in here. Replacement looks exactly the same. Look how much freaking brighter this is compared to the old one. Wow, what a big difference. And now we'll just replace the little cover, pop that back in, fit the sides it wants to, and boom, guys, you are done. Seriously, less than a minute. Big difference just on these alone. And same goes with this. So all you do to pop this out is just kind of stick your screwdriver in there and then work it out, and then boom, this little side comes out and drops down. And all you got to do is replace that little bulb right in there, this one. The other one that's over here is like a dome light. That's you're not able to replace, but this one you can easily get into. All you got to do is just grab probably a pair of pliers and lightly just pull that out and put a new one in, and you're done, guys. Let me show you the results real quick. Boom. Look at that transformation, guys. Look how bright these suckers are. This is how a car should be that's $90,000 from factory. It should not have these ugly amber lights in it whatsoever. Like, seriously. All right, guys, so I'm on my last light here on the inside. Super easy to do on the back ones. Literally, just stick the a screwdriver in there, flathead, and it just pops right out on one side. Then just pull this this little bulb out of there. Just kind of push it out, and you will be all good. It's a little hot though, so it's hard to do this with one hand. Oh, that sucker's hot. Ow, jeez, that's actually burning. And boom, just like that, guys. The interior is completely done. Now let's just move on to the little small lights that are at the bottom of the door jambs themselves, or the little floodlights, I guess is what they call them. Those are even easier to do. As you can tell, the light is right under here. All you do is just take it and pop this one side out, just like that. It comes down, and you can see a little bulb in here. It's a new design I haven't seen this one really before, but it kind of hooks on both sides. It's kind of hard to see. I know it's very bright, but let me turn all these lights off real quick, because you don't really want to be replacing them, but really easy to get out, guys. You just grab, ow, you can't even, that hurt like a mother trucker. So we're going to take this bad boy, and ow. Yeah, you really need to let these cool off, but it just boom boom on hooks. It's like a little hook on both sides. It's kind of hard to describe, but let's go ahead and put the new one in. Same thing, hook it one side, hook it to the other side, turn the lights on and see if that's the right one. Yes, it is. Look how bright that mother trucker is. No more cheap lights anywhere whatsoever, guys. Just like that, literally less than a minute to replace those. So, oh, guys, this is what I love to do. Like, just small little things where you're not really tearing the car apart, I guess you can say, kind of, sort of, just slightly, but look at that, man. I love it. And that is going to wrap it up for us today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I enjoy bringing you guys all this content. Honestly, it's so much fun to build, to race, to drag race, to do all kinds of stuff with our cars. So if you love 1100 horsepower Redeyes or 700 horsepower trucks, definitely subscribe down below, because you will not regret it. And I will see you guys in the next episode. So enjoy your lives, enjoy your cars, and I will see you next time. Peace.